In Somalia, media organisations are providing journalists with advice on how to protect themselves against attacks by armed groups. CGTN's Abdulaziz Billow has more from Mogadishu.
The shooting of radio journalist Abdulaziz last month is the latest in a growing list of unsolved media industry murders in Somalia. He was gunned down by an unidentified man on the outskirts of Mogadishu, the third media professional to be killed in the country this year. It's prompted journalists, rights groups and the government to devise a safety manual for members of the media. The 30-page booklet provides tips on what journalists should watch out for.
It's been 2 years and a half process. Today we are holding a book acquisition conference for the Somali Journalist Safety and Protection Manual. The book will highly contribute at providing practical guidelines for local journalists who work under extremely high-risk environment.
Farhia Khair heads up an all-women media organization called SWJ. She says although both male and female journalists face the same challenges, intimidation, harassment and even murder, women have been targeted more often in recent years.
The important thing we want journalists to understand is that their personal safety comes first. They need to assess the conditions before going out on a story, especially in conflict zones. We've conducted training sessions in major Somali towns, and we hope this will help.
Al-Shabaab is the main culprit behind the attacks, even in government-controlled areas. For the fourth year in a row, rights groups have ranked Somalia among countries with the worst records of prosecuting journalist killers. This safety manual will advise media workers on the dangers while they're in the field, but it will not end the threats and intimidation. One potential solution is the country's media bill. It's been under discussion in Parliament for years now.
Once
the media law has been approved, threats, intimidation and arrest of journalists will end. We also hope it will stop the decades of abuse against members of the media. We have consulted independent authorities, media workers and members of civil society.
Somalia has a thriving local media industry with more than a dozen television and radio stations. It's hoped that this manual will help to educate and protect their journalists. Abdulaziz, Billow, CGTN, Mogadishu, Somalia.